have been through a process of bereavement for like a month, less than a month actually. The Lord has lifted me out from the grief, and during this time, God has put in my heart to start my career as a videographer.
Wow.
And so I started to film everything on the street, basically just to help to build my profile, because I have no experience, I have nothing at all. So I start from scratch, film everything on the street, people singing, basking, trees, flowers, everything, take pictures, photos, everything. So yeah, it has been such an adventurous time. And then comes this moment, the Lord, when I was having my devotional time, the Lord told me from the scripture of Hebrew that I need to make a documentary film and watch Him work.
Wow.
And I did, and I step out in faith and believing God will provide everything. And that's when I started to meet with people around me, and that includes you out of Sydney. We met in June 2019. June.
Yes, that's right.
And
Engage
event
2019.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing enough. You said you had no experience, had never done a film.
No.
Yet alone, look what happened. You just produced this amazing film, which has gone, I would say, viral. Right, because a lot of people are commenting, excellent comments, and it looks so professional. Had you not done any filming at all before?
Well, I have done some editing, you know, when people like to shoot themselves talking and then you know, edit themselves,
like
put
vlogging,
it in apps, vlogging. I did some things back then in Malaysia when I was working in my previous church.
So you do have experience.
A little bit, but not filming, not like proper editing, proper filming, nothing like this. It's just...
And then you spoke a little bit about your husband. So the event of losing your husband, would you say that was your inspiration that led you to do that? Because you mentioned that that your husband bought all these expensive cameras and stuff like that.
Oh yes, I did mention to you before, and he did bought the expensive camera.
Wow.
Very expensive, and I was before I was arguing with him. Why did you buy that camera? we are not in such a state route to do all these things. He said, I would just want to invest in the future and see what happened now. God just said, look around you. What do you have?
Leading him to do that.
Probably, and I believe
amazing.
so. Yes, it is.
Okay.
But this film was produced because of when I start my relationship with my walk with Christ, and it was from my devotional time that God has spoken to me that He wants me to tell my story.
Yeah, good.
And I wasn't willing to do so at first because I was still in a situation where I just lost my husband, and it's also fresh raw to me and to share this, but actually I have shared with certain people when I see that they are also lost their loved ones.
So this actually can help others, people in situations. That's me actually. If you could explain to somebody who is in that situation and has tried everything, has tried alcohol, has tried drugs, have been to certain programs, you know, what can you actually, how can you say try Christ if somebody doesn't know anything about Christ? Can you just elaborate on that for us, please?
Jesus, in the Bible it tells us, Jesus says himself, he said himself that he is the way, the truth and life, right? And there are many ways in life that we try to solve our problems, but for me personally, I experienced Christ in a very, very, very different way. I know I was born in a Christian family, and I have been, my family brought me to Christ. My mom and my dad brought me to Christ when I was little, and I see how He works. Even though I can't see Him physically, but I see how God works in the life of people when they accept Him into their life. This is something we can't explain. Why we can't see Him, but we can't see the air either, but we are breathing it, and it's real. And so Jesus is real, and he has left his tracks throughout the history, and then he left us the book, the Bible, for us to know him personally. And so and for me personally, I grew up in that environment, and Christ has always been in my life, but I have been on and off relationship with Christ. And this event has totally bind me, my relationship with God, and it's really it's real. And although in the process, when I prayed, eventually I lost my husband, but it did not cut me off my faith in God. In fact, it increases my faith in God, because he gave me peace surpasses all understanding.
I'm just holding on to that. Many people would say, how can I then give my grief, let go and give my grief to the Lord, to God, right? And they will say, but God is the one that took my family away. So they've been praying, they've done everything, they've gone to church, and God has taken their loved one. And how can I then, to this person who's taken my loved one, how can I then pour out everything to the person who's taken my loved one? What would you say about that then?
That's one thing that we need to understand about life. We all die one day.
True.
And we can't say God take us away, because in reality, we are living in this human body. We die one day or another, we die. One way or another, we die. But in Christ, when we are living in Christ, we do not have the fear. We have the hope in knowing that one day our soul, our spirit is in heaven. We know we have the life, abundant life, eternity with God. And that is something, that hope that we cannot understand right now. But you can only find that kind of peace in your heart when you have that relationship with God. And I encourage everyone to really seek God, seek Christ in your life, because only He can let you understand, and only the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God can let us into that truth. I cannot possibly tell you how.
So basically, in other words, does your film talk about that?
My film talks about 5 different testimonies, and and it's my testimony. 5 different people within there. So I am one of them. I'm sure some people will have the same experience as mine. I'm sure my testimony would help certain people, and some people will maybe register more with some other witness in the film, like Tony Anthony and Neil and Pastor Barry and Brent Morgan, and they're all amazing people with so many different stories, their relationship with God. It amazes me to find these people in my journey of making this film.
How did you find these people?
So, you know yourself, after I met you and you offered to help me, and I was actually looking for witness, for people who willing to testify, give the testimony. And you said you have 2 very powerful testimonies that they can work with me, So Tony and then Neil, and the other 2, Pastor Barry. He was a pastor who came and preached in my church many times, and so I knew him from before. Actually, he was the first one I approached and asked if he is willing to share his testimony in my film. He doesn't even know what kind of film that is, but he said yes, and he's a lovely guy. He's very lovely.
And then what about Brent?
Oh, that one? Let me tell you, that is a miracle.
Tell me.
I was looking for a job, and I prayed to God to give me a job so I can also work part-time in my employment. And God said...
Is this after you lost your husband?
Yeah, after I lost my husband. It's not easy to find job, because I've no experience in London working. I've been 5 years not working. I've not worked for 5 years, married to my husband.
Because you're looking after
I'm looking after my husband. I'm a full-time housewife. So many application sent from on my website and email and stuff. No one replied. No one responded. I sent for video editing, for this and that, you know. And the Lord said to me, and I prayed to God one day, Lord, please give me a job. I really need a job. And God said to me, are you willing to humble yourselves? I said yes.
So sorry, I'm gonna hold you again on this because I know the whole world is watching and the whole world is listening. When you say God spoke to you, what do you mean God was telling you change your application? Did you actually hear the voice of?
Well, in the beginning, we learn about Him from the Bible, and we know about the truth from the Bible, and then when we are constantly reading the Word sink into our hearts, and we know the heart of God from time to time when we walk with Him. And then when I said I heard Him speak to me, it's like He put a thought in my mind, or a heart desire, a heart feeling inside of me, and to let me into this thinking, saying that, hey, maybe I should change my application. So I know that it comes from God. It came from God because I wouldn't have thought about it myself, because I am a person who's like, when I'm fixed to searching this job, I will stick on this job. But then I have this thought comes, and it's like contradicting my own ways. So
good. So
I recognize that voice.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then you change your application
into a cleaner. Cleaner's job. Because I for those whole 5 years, that was what I was doing. Cleaning, serving,
at home.
At home. So that's what I do best at home, you know. Well, I have, so that's why I changed my application to something that is more basic and more practical. Well, I sent out my application to a company called Elliot. The next day they replied. And they asked for me to be interviewed, and I went to interview, and I start on the same day. Working on the same day, and since then I've been working up to now. and that is when I met Brent. Where I met Brent. The Elliot company is actually working for the leprosy mission. And they sent me there to clean the place. And the leprosy mission, soon after that I found out this is actually a Christian organization, which I pray for so much. I mean, God, you are amazing. I mean, wow.
You can't make it up.
But the only thing is, the only sacrifice I need to make is I have to get up 2 o'clock in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Basically, just one time together. It seems as though this is what God wanted for your life, because you needed to have you needed to have gone through what you went through, and to be able to do what you've done, creating this film, and then meeting people like Brent and the leprosy mission. Good. All right, so everybody check out the film www.thegreatcloud.com. Okay, find it on YouTube. And you said you produced this yourself, right? So you have a production company?
I have I registered my company last year, and it's called eCapture.
eCapture. Okay, well, how did you come up with the name eCapture?
Well, originally it's capture. And the idea came to me when I said to myself, I would like to capture every moment of my life, of the life of other people. I would like to be captured in my film. And so I used the word capture. And then I tried to register the name, but it's been taken. And so I put in a little lowercase e in the front. And then I put
lowercase e?
A lowercase e represents me, my name. Eunice. And then the capital C for Christ. So Christ.
The C in captures represents Christ. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so eCapture, good. And then moving on to everything else that you say you do, photography,
Yeah.
And you said you're a singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
which is also why we wanted you to come and take a ride with us today
Yeah.
on this nice, beautiful day.
Oh, it is beautiful
Alright.
day. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
singer-songwriter, tell us more about it. How did you become this singer? How did you become a songwriter? And
Yeah.
what songs have you done? Have you got anything that's out there that's been released?
Okay.
And who produces your music?
Yeah. Well, a singer, I have been singing since I was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
I love singing.
In Malaysia.
Yeah, but since I was born.
Yeah. Okay.
I just love to sing.
Yeah,
Singing
good.
is my joy. Singing is my life.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So, and I have been leading worship in my previous church in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And I've been writing songs. I have not released any of my songs. It's just a thing that I do in my own time, in my own devotional time. I like to write down my thoughts into a song. And
Yeah.
I have a channel called E4JC, which I've started 2017, I think.
Okay.
And then I have recorded some of the songs, and some are cover songs, and
Yeah.
some are my own composition. And I released it on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so E for my name and
Okay.
for Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Eunice
right, yeah.
for Jesus Christ. So yeah.
Makes sense.
You're my past, my future, and more today. Today is in the present, and present is a gift. Now I found the reason, I have the reason to live.